Aquarius ascendants, this video is for you, which means if you have number 11 in your first house, or your moon is in Aquarius, or if you have cluster of planets in Aquarius, you can watch this video. I want to make a separate video for Sadesati because Aquarius moon people especially, but you can definitely get a lot of insight on this particular video as well if your moon is in Aquarius. The impact of what I'm going to say will be more if you're running Saturn Mahadasha or Jupiter Mahadasha or the Antardasha of Saturn and Jupiter or Jupiter. If you have planets in Pisces, especially from 0 to 8 degrees in the nakshatra of Uttar Bhadrapada, any planet, or Purva Bhadrapada, and if you're running through Mahadashas and Antardashas of those planets, the impact will be according to that particular planet, whichever planet it is. Okay, if you're between the age of 28, 30, 31, again, this is very important for you because it might be your Saturn return. If you're about 35, 36 years old, again, this could be very important and could be a turning point for you in your life. Saturn matures at that particular age, 36. If you're about 58 to 60 years old, it's your second Saturn return, and again, this could be a big game changer for you. All right. So I'm going to divide this video into 3 parts. I'm going to talk about your career, your finances, your wealth. Second part will be about your relationships. And the third part will be about your health. But before I start talking about these things, I'm going to tell you what is retrograde. All right. What is Saturn retrograde? So retrograde is nothing but a phenomena where planets are going around the sun in its orbit and then they stop moving. They're stationary. And then they start going backwards in retrograde motion and again are stationary, and then eventually they start moving forward, directional, okay, and back to their orbit. So that particular time is called the retrograde. And Saturn, since it's such a slow moving planet, the retrograde time is also very long. It's 138 days, whereas Mercury just goes retrograde for a couple of weeks, right? But the question is retrograde a real phenomena? Is it an astronomical phenomena? The answer is no. Planets don't really stop their orbit around the sun, take a step back and start contemplating and then start moving forward. No, it doesn't really happen. It's an optical illusion because we are viewing the planets from Earth, and from Earth it appears that the planets are retrograde or they are moving backwards. It doesn't really happen. Okay, so let's try to understand with these fruits. I have a mango and a apple. Okay, probably fruits. Your karma, fruits of your karma of your last life. Yeah, good karma. Yeah. So let's consider this fruit is Saturn, and this is Earth. Okay, and Earth is going about its business, right, around the sun, orbiting. The reason I'm not moving Saturn is because Saturn is very slow moving. By the time Earth does it 29 times, Saturn will take one revolution of the sun because it's very, very far away, right? It may be, it looks very close by, but that's a huge distance, right? Saturn is really far away from Earth, right? So the moment Earth in its orbit around the sun is overtaking Saturn, right at this point, overtaking Saturn in its orbit, because Saturn is also moving slowly forward. So on July 13th is what you see is this particular phenomena happening. Earth is overtaking Saturn in its orbit. Okay, and as August, September, October, November, it goes further and further away, and it appears that Saturn is behind. All right. And Saturn is retrograde. It appears that Saturn is moving backwards, but it is not really moving backwards. It's just going slowly. And since Earth is closer to the sun, Earth is in a faster motion. Okay? So it's an optical illusion. The same thing happens when you're sitting on a train and your train is going really fast. And you look outside the window and then you see a stationary train. Okay? And it appears that the train is moving backwards, but it is definitely not moving backwards. It's again an optical illusion. Even if the train is very, very slowly moving and you're going on at a very high speed, It will appear that the train next to you, the one that you're looking out from your window, is moving backwards, right? The platform, the people, everything looks like it's going backwards, but it's not. Now the question is the impact of retrograde planets also strong, or is just a myth? It is definitely not a myth. The impact is definitely stronger, 3 times stronger, the retrograde planets. So any planet that you have retrograde in your chart is definitely much stronger and affecting you in a very strong way. Why? Because it was at the closest to Earth at that point of time, right? So let's look at how the impact is going to be. So I'm going to pull up an Aquarius chart. As you can see, the Saturn retrograde, Saturn already transited there. I've made a few videos on Saturn transit, so you can check that out if you're new to my channel. I've made videos on all the transits, so you can check my channel depending on which Mahadasha you're going through or what you're interested to know about. So Saturn is doing all this in the second house. What is the second house? Second house is the house of your family, your speech, your resources. All right? And what does Saturn govern? Because that is what is most important. Saturn governs you. It is your Lagna Lord. And it is also governing your 12th house of isolation, about foreign lands, about expenses, about giving things away. Alright? So Saturn going retrograde can definitely give you some kind of a turmoil, especially to do with your career. Because where does your salary go? It goes into your savings account. If you're a businessman, where does it go? You save that money. It goes to the second house of resources, right? And Saturn going retrograde can cause turmoil and confusion right there. So if you are considering to take a drastic decision about changing your profession, you need to be patient, just like Saturn. Take a step back, connect to the energy of Saturn, which is your Lagna Lord. It is the time to introspect, contemplate. It is probably not the time to take immediate action. It's time to take very thoughtful actions. Okay? Especially how you speak, because this is also the, Saturn is in your second house of speech, how you speak. Fantastic time to grow spiritually as a person, because the nakshatra of Uttar Bhadrapada, where this is happening, is a nakshatra which has got hidden powers. It's a secretive nakshatra, right? It can completely transform a person, especially if your natal Saturn itself is sitting there, or if you have planets there in Uttar Bhadrapada nakshatra. The impact is going to be more. All right. So a change of profession can suddenly happen, or Aquarians can look at starting a side gig. They might have lost interest in their profession. All this can happen. There could be an organizational change. Your teams could change. Your location could change. Your work location, you might be considering, okay, I'll go to a different city and take up that job. I'll go to a different country and I'll start studying again. I'll start studying about something I always had interest about. There could be a polar opposite change in career, because from there Saturn looks at your 4th house, which is your home. Also good time to look after your mother, right? Get her a health checkup done. So people who have a very strong Saturn and Jupiter may also get a lot of benefit. The Saturn in the second house retrograde can give you lots of money. Lots and lots of money. Your money could absolutely multiply. But if your Saturn is not very well placed in the chart, your Jupiter is not well placed in the chart, this could give turmoil. People could try to sell their property and things could get delayed. There could be issues with your vehicles, your cars. And just the opposite, if the placements are good, if your karma is good in this life and your last life, if you've done good karmas, then you can gain property, you can gain vehicles, you can buy a car, you can multiply your resources. There will be multiple travel in foreign lands. Alright, so how you channelize this energy? You must become spiritually evolved, practice meditation, isolate yourself, do charity, help the poor, help the older people, okay? Go to NGOs, enhance your knowledge, reconnect with your gurus, reconnect with your family, be nice to your family. See, Rahu and Saturn both sitting in first and second house. People can become very harsh during this time. So if you think you've not treated any of your family members well, this is time to take a step back, contemplate, just like how Saturn is supposed to do. Take a step back, contemplate, and see how you can mend things with your family, especially your immediate family, what you consider home. All right. From the relationship front, the time is not good for the next couple of months, and as long as Ketu is there, so be very careful. I have mentioned it in my other videos and other transit videos as well, especially if your sun is not well placed in your natal chart. This particular transit and can cause turmoil, because second house is your immediate family. Your wife, your spouse is also seen as your family, especially after a marriage. It can cause physical distance. Your spouse could find a job somewhere else or physically distant from you. All right. Your spouse could suddenly have a lot of spiritual inclination and say, hey, I don't want this material world, and I'm going for a retreat for a few months. I'm going for Vipassana, right? I'm going to become a yoga teacher. I'm going to learn Vedic astrology, or I'm going to become a hermit. All this you can hear. All right. So you need to be very careful. You need to make sure that you're not chasing material wealth blindly, but also with this, in this particular time, you're focusing on evolving yourself as a spiritual being, evolving your knowledge, learning more about who you are, understanding yourself, right? Health again, you need to look after your teeth, your face, your head area. That could be prone to injuries. There could be cold and cough, viral related, virus and bacteria related issues. So be very careful. Great time to join the gym. You could also put on weight. So what you eat is very, very important. Look after your eyes, your eyesight. Okay. And your feet area. So could be prone to injury. So avoid intoxications, avoid alcohol and smoking, right? Especially with Rahu transiting over your Lagna. All right. Sweet addiction. Eat very simple food. Be mindful when you're eating, and make a conscious effort to be extremely humble. You'll get fantastic results. All right. Results will be different. Like I said, this is a general analysis depending on how your Saturn and Jupiter are placed. Well, that's pretty much it. I'm starting a Vedic astrology course. So if you have knowledge, if you want to acquire knowledge about occult, Vedic astrology, you can join the course. I'm going to teach this from the scratch for beginners. It's a 3-month course, by the way, every Sunday. All right. If you like this video, hit the like button and share it with your friends and family. If you need a consultation, my information is right here. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much for your time. I wish you all the best. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.